Okay, strap in because this deep dive has more twists and turns than a Da Vinci Code. We're digging into Da Vinci dinners, a conference that cannot be named, and even bumping into a baroness along the way.
Wow.
You've sent us some seriously intriguing stuff about Chris Abraham, and I
Right.
can't wait to unravel this mystery with you.
What's captivating about these sources is that they reveal a pattern in Chris's life.
Okay.
A hunger for authentic connection and a knack for finding it in the most unexpected places.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about blog posts from the early 2000s,
Right.
a time capsule from before the days of perfectly curated online personas.
Oh, yeah.
He's giving us glimpses into lavish dinners,
Mhm.
dropping mentions of Oxford and London like it's casual Tuesday,
Yeah.
and this Renaissance weekend keeps popping up. For those of us not in the know, what exactly is Renaissance weekend?
So Renaissance weekend.
Yeah.
It's this fascinating invitation-only gathering that brings together a diverse group of fascinating people from all walks of life.
Okay.
Artists, CEOs, politicians, you name it.
Wow.
The focus is on open dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
challenging assumptions,
Right.
and building relationships.
Oh, yeah?
Think of it as a breeding ground for big ideas and even bigger personalities.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
That context is helpful because it makes these blog posts even juicier.
right.
So we've got these elite gatherings,
Yeah.
but then he also talks about these Da Vinci dinners.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection there?
Absolutely. Chris explicitly calls these dinners an extension of the Renaissance weekender spirit,
Okay.
which speaks volumes. Both settings emphasize off-the-record conversations,
Interesting.
creating a space for genuine connection and vulnerability,
Oh, okay.
even among high achievers.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests that even in these circles of influence,
Right.
true connection requires letting your guard down.
That makes sense. He mentions one Da Vinci dinner with friends,
Yeah.
Carrie, John, Dimitri, Christian, and Kyle,
Mm.
in the Pope Room at Buca di Beppo.
Wow.
Now, I've heard of this Pope Room.
Oh, yeah.
Giant bottles of Chianti pasta overflowing everywhere.
Right.
It sounds like a recipe for a good time,
Mhm.
but also a recipe for forgetting what you even talked about, right?
Right.
And yet he distinctly remembers these dinners as being about much more than just the food.
Right.
It's like the lavish setting, the
Yeah.
shared meal. It all becomes secondary to the conversations and the connections formed,
Right.
which makes you wonder, what were those conversations like?
Right.
He mentions this recurring story from Renaissance Weekend about juggling glass and rubber balls.
Yeah. The glass and rubber ball.
I've always found that to be such a powerful analogy.
It is.
It speaks to the importance of prioritizing what truly matters.
Mm.
The glass balls represent our relationships,
Yeah.
our health, our passions,
Right.
the things that can shatter if we're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Work, on the other hand, is the rubber ball. It might bounce away, but it always comes back.
Exactly.
That's such a crucial message, especially within the context of these high-achieving circles.
Right.
You'd think they'd be all about the rubber balls,
Yeah.
the next big win.
Right.
But for Chris to highlight the story so prominently, it makes you realize that even among the most successful people,
Yeah.
there's a yearning for balance,
Right.
for connection, for something more than just achievement.
Precisely. This story shared in this setting
Yeah.
reveals a key insight. Even among high achievers, there's a hunger for authentic connection.
Right.
And a recognition that true success involves more than just career wins.
And speaking of connections, Chris's experience in London adds another layer to this story.
Yeah.
He mentions meeting a baroness,
Mhm.
Audrey, though he jokes that's not her real name.
Like we would know any baronesses.
Right.
But even surrounded by what he calls captains of industry at this fancy party, he still feels like a fish out of water.
Wow.
You know, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here he is rubbing shoulders with high society.
Right.
Yet he describes himself as a sweet, innocent schoolboy in comparison.
Wow.
It suggests a certain self-awareness,
Yeah.
a recognition that belonging to elite circles doesn't necessarily equate to feeling entirely comfortable within them.
It's like he's straddling two worlds.
Right.
On the one hand, he's drawn to these gatherings of brilliant minds,
Mm.
these opportunities to connect with people who challenge and inspire him.
Yeah.
But there's also this sense that he's searching for something deeper,
Right.
something more genuine than what he finds in those gilded cages.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's where his experiences in Oxford become really interesting.
Okay.
He attends this conference that cannot be named,
Right.
which just screams intrigue, right?
Right. It's like something out of a spy novel. He's tantalizingly vague about the details,
Yeah.
but you can sense the energy, the buzz of being surrounded by such intellectual firepower.
And remember,
Yeah.
this is Oxford we're talking about.
Right.
A place steeped in history, tradition, academic rigor.
Mm-hmm.
Chris seems acutely aware of that legacy as he walks those hallowed halls.
Right.
He describes attending a banquet in Charles I's Parliament,
Why?
dining in the Harry Potter Hall.
Wait, the actual Harry Potter Hall?
Well, the Great Hall of Christ Church College, to be exact.
Oh, okay.
But you can see why he'd make the connection.
Yep.
It's that sense of history coming alive,
Yeah.
of being part of something larger than himself.
It's like he's dropped into this incredible intersection of past and present, where ancient traditions meet cutting-edge ideas.
Exactly.
Wow.
And amidst all of that,
he never loses sight of the importance of connection. He talks about these late-night conversations with fellow attendees, the shared meals that fuel their discussions.
Yeah.
He even mentions a dinner at the Bodleian Library,
Okay.
which, for a bookworm like me, sounds like an absolute dream.
Okay, now that sounds incredible.
Right.
Dining amongst those stacks, surrounded by the scent of old books and the weight of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like something out of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But even with all this excitement, Chris also finds moments of quiet reflection in Oxford.
Yes.
Okay.
He talks about wandering the wet cobblestone streets at night,
Yeah.
feeling the energy of the city settle around him.
Right.
It's a reminder that even amidst these whirlwind experiences, he craves those moments of solitude, of introspection. It's that contrast again, isn't it?
Right.
The lavish dinners and the quiet walks,
Yeah.
the high-powered discussions, and the moments of solitary reflection. It's like he's trying to find the balance between those two worlds.
Right.
The thread that connects them all. And maybe that's the thread we've been following all along.
Yeah.
It's not just about what Chris is doing, the dinners, the conferences, the chance encounters with the Baroness.
Right.
It's about why he's drawn to these experiences in the first place.
It's about seeking out authenticity
Right.
in a world that often feels anything but.
Yeah.
Whether he's engaging in deep conversations with intellectuals or finding solace in a quiet moment amidst the Oxford streets,
Right.
he's searching for genuine connection,
Yeah.
for experiences that resonate with something deeper within him.
And what strikes me is that he's not just passively waiting for these experiences to find him.
Right.
He's actively creating them.
Yeah.
Those Da Vinci dinners with friends, the late-night talks in Oxford,
Right.
it's like they're building their own micro-communities within these larger, more established ones.
That's a brilliant observation.
Yeah.
It speaks to the power of intentional community building. Chris and his friends are recognizing that they don't have to settle for superficial interactions.
Right.
They can choose to build relationships that prioritize genuine connection and intellectual stimulation.
And what's so inspiring is that it doesn't require some grand gesture or exclusive invitation.
Right.
We can all create those spaces in our own lives,
That's
whether
right.
it's a recurring dinner with friends,
Yeah.
a book club that sparks debate, or even just being more present in our everyday conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about making a conscious effort
Right.
to surround ourselves with people who challenge and inspire us,
Yeah.
people with whom we can be our most authentic selves.
So what does this all mean for someone listening in right now?
Yeah.
Someone who might be craving that same sense of connection but isn't sure where to find it.
I think Chris's story offers a powerful message.
Okay.
It's out there.
Mm-hmm.
It might be in unexpected places.
Right.
It might require stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But the search for authentic connection is always worth it.
It's about being open to new experiences,
Right.
being present in the moment,
Yeah.
and recognizing that sometimes the most meaningful connections happen when we least expect them. Who knew a deep dive into Da Vinci dinners and a conference that cannot be named would lead us to such a profound realization?
Yeah.
It just goes to show there's always something to be learned from exploring the lives of others, even if those lives seem at first glance a world away from our own. It's a good reminder that the search for connection is something that unites us all.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder these ideas and perhaps spark some of those authentic connections in your own life.